Hello and good morning to everyone. Once again, I would like to thank everyone who has tuned in for our webinar today. I hope you guys are staying safe at home. So before we jump any further, I would like to give a little bit of what are we going to learn today. So our webinar today is about to introduce or to give an exposure or rough overview of how drone is used in industrial purposes. You will see we will discuss in 4 different industries such as aerial mapping, agriculture, and so on. So as we go throughout the uh, presentation, there will be you can ask any questions on if you can see on your right hand side of the screen. There's a Q&A chat box which you can use to ask any question. And me and Sasi, which is the presenter today, my colleague from Poladrone, here we'll be answering your question as we go along the uh, presentation or the webinar. Then I would like to pass the mic to Sasi.
All right, thank you, Fik. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sasi. So I hope everyone is doing well in this MCO. Today is a very lovely Monday where the weather outside is sunny. So without further ado, I will start this drone webinar where we're going to talk about how we're going to use drone in different industry. So this is just a very simple and introductory drone webinar to show how we can utilize the power of drones in different industry. So before I start, I would like to introduce our moderator here, the guy on the left, Tengku Afiq, and also the presenter here, Sasi, which is me. And this will be our today's agenda. So we will start off with our background. I'm going to talk about what is Poladrone and where we come from. And then I'm going to go about introductions to UAV. What are the components that make up the UAS and also the UAV? And then the UAV workflow. And this is the 4 industry we're going to talk about today. Number 1, it's survey and mapping. Number 2, agriculture spraying and monitoring. Number 3, infrastructure inspections. And last is the public safety. And before I end our webinar, we're going to talk about what kind of service our company provide. So let's get started with our company profile. We are actually a tier 1 distributor for DJI drone and also many leading industry payloads such as Centera and FLIR. Our company actually founded in 2015 with the main focus in agriculture mapping and inspections. And also we are based in Malaysia, Cyberjaya. After a few years of operations, our company grew, and as we grow, we can now provide a total enterprise solutions where we not only sell just the drone, we also sell the hardware, software, and also provide full analytics to our clients. Basically, it's end-to-end solutions, A to Z. We provide everything. We have mapped more than 300,000 hectares of data across the industry. We also have 120,000 square feet manufacturing facility located in Selangor, where we do and produce our own spraying drones. Also, we have a sister company called the Drone Academy Asia, where we help you train up your own drone pilot within your company. Let's say if your company wanted to set up their own drone department, you can send over your pilot to here to become a professional drone pilots. This is just a little bit about what is DJI. I believe some of you people here already know what is DJI. Some of you don't know. Well, DJI is one of the drone brands in the global market right now, and they are one of the most popular or most well-known one. They make up about 70 to 80% in the global drone market share. So that is quite a lot. So a lot of time when people talk about drones, the first name that come into their minds, they will talk about DJI. And they are valued at over around 15 billion USD, and they keep growing year by year. So this is the one of the most popular brands that we are supplying. Of course, in the market, there are a lot of different brands out there. So now I'm going to talk about introductions to UAV. So what does UAV means? It actually stands for unmanned aerial vehicles. So today I'm going to talk about what are the things or what are the components that make up a UAS solutions. So UAS here stand for unmanned aerial system. So what's the difference between UAV and UAS is UAV is just the drone itself together with the payloads, whereas UAS is a complete solutions where you have a base station, you have the GPS, you have the software, you have the operator to run everything. So there are actually three main components to make up a complete UAS solutions. The first one is the platform itself, followed by the payloads, and of course you need the software to control the drones. And of course the last one, the most important one, will be the operator itself. So I'm going to go on one by one. So we will start first with the platform. As you can see in the picture here, there are three types of platform. So I'm going to start with talk about what is a fixed wing. As you can see in the photo here, a fixed wing look like a regular aeroplanes, just that in a smaller scales. I believe you all know how does an aeroplane take off and land, right? You need a very big landing space, like in the KRIA, when the plane take off and also landing. Same thing go with these drones. So when you launch it, it's just like the inside the photo you see the person is tossed or throw the drone in order to launch it. And most of the time when it come landing, it will come crash landing if you are not a professional pilot or don't know how to control it well. So the good thing about this fixed wing is it gives you a very high endurance of flying time. Talking about 1 to 2 hours of flying time in the air. But this fixed wing, right, is not suitable to fly in area like a lot of tall buildings or a lot of tall trees. So it's not really ideal to use fixed wing in agriculture or oil palm sectors. So the second one is called the multi-rotors. I believe this is the most common drone that everybody knows. Multi-rotors, they come with different type of sizes and propellers. The one you see in the photo is 6 propellers. There are 4 propellers, 6 propellers, 8 propellers, come in different sizes and shapes. So the good thing about the multi-rotor is it is very easy for you to control. And it takes off just like a helicopter. You don't need a very big space for it to take off. You don't need to have a runway or anything. You can just take off right on the spot and then land it precisely. What are the things that multi-rotor are bad at is that the maximum flight time you give is around 35 to 40 minutes max. And then the last one you see here is called a hybrid VTOL. Now VTOL here stands for vertical takeoff and landings. As you can see in the photos, it looks like a fixed wing, but he have propellers. They got 4 propellers here. So what's so good about this VTOL is it can take off like a multi-rotors drone. And then once it reaches a certain height, it will start gliding like a fixed wing. So it has the feature of both multi-rotor and fixed wing. I would say the best of both worlds. So what VTOL can give you is a very high endurance of flight time. We are talking about 1 to 2 hours of flight time in the air. And also when it lands, it can land like a multi-rotor. So it really convenience. One bad thing about this VTOL right now is in the market, it is very expensive. We are talking about easily above 200,000 ringgit Malaysia. So these are the 3 type of platform we have here right now in the market. So next thing I'm going to talk about the payloads. As you can see in the photos, there are lots of payloads. We're going to start with the integrated RGB. So RGB here stands for red, green, and blue. This is the most common and most basic type of payloads camera, or I should say, that you can attach to your drones. And then we have thermal. Thermal is the one that allow you to see at night, as they are infrared camera. They can detect body temperature and heat. And next we have this called high zoom. Normally high zoom payloads come with zooming capabilities up to 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, or even 30 times zooms, depending on the brands. And also we have multi-spectral here. As you can see from this photo, they got 4 different lenses. We will talk more about this on multispectral. Basically, multispectral is used on agriculture sectors to see the crop health or the health of your plant. And then we have this thing called the LiDAR. So LiDAR here means light detecting and ranging. So what it does is it basically works more or less similar like a radar, just that radar is using radio wave to determine the range, angle, and velocity of object nearby you. However, this LiDAR, they are using a pulse laser to detect and measure the range, normally used by surveyor to reconstruct a whole city or whole forest. And this payload is not cheap. It can go up to 1 million or 2 million in ringgit Malaysia. Next one, we have a gas detector. This one is to detect different type of gas. And also we have supply box where you can transport a small object easily in between areas. And of course, last one will be the alarm and speaker. I believe during the MCO, you all have seen the news that PDRM are using drone attached with a speaker to disperse the crowd, right? So this is one of the payload they are using. Next, I'm going to talk about the software. And for software itself, there are also three types of software. As you can see, we have operational software, where these are the software you use to control and also make waypoint planning for your drone. And then we have this processing software, where once your drone is finished flying and taking all the pictures, you need software to stitch all the photos together to make it into one big map. And then once you have one big map, you need analyzing software to create photogrammetry measurements or anything to give you an actionable outcome with different outputs that you want to use. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the UAV workflow. How does the workflow, how does it work for UAV? So basically, first off, you need to buy the hardware, which is the platform, the drone itself. After that, you need to give your pilot some training, how to control, and also learn about the rules and regulations and everything. So of course, this is a one-off capital expenditure, meaning to say that you only spend money on it one time. And then for the real operation itself, it's split into two parts. The first part in the blue one you see is the operational cost. Every time you have a project, you need to send your pilots to the field to capture with your own drones. So this is what I mean by operational cost. You need to set boundary, you need to go to the area and take all the photos. So once you take all the photos, this is where the processing cost will come into play, where you need to use the software to stitch all the photos together and then to make it into a result that you can make action. So this part is quite costly because you need to have powerful workstations, and then you need to have a software license. You need to have people who know what are they doing, and also you need to have a server to store all the information. Yeah, so this is basically the overall workflow. These two parts will be continuous. Okay. So next, I'm gonna show you a video how does a drone works. This is a video for you understanding. So first of all, we'll say we want to like to fly in this area. And then what the drone gonna do is we're gonna use the operational software to create a waypoint. So this is a path where the drone gonna follow. And then as the drone fly, these are each of the dot the phone gonna take photo. In the top right, you'll see the time estimate for the whole project complete around 20 minutes plus. So once you finish taking all the photos, you will need the software to stitch all the photos together into one big map. Just like so. So this is the result once you stitch the photo together into one big map. So the most basic result you see is called 2D Orthomosaic or 2D map. And then from here, you can use a point cloud to make it into a 3D sort of map like you see right now. And then from this 3D map, you can do a lot of things. Like this one is called digital surface model, where you see everything above the surface. texture map for more visualizations. So now they're going to use the software and also to do some photogrammetry, which is, in this case, they're going to do some volume measurements of this stockpile over here. This is how you can get accurate volume measurements from the pictures software. So you can create contour lines with all this software. So yeah, this is basically how a whole drone operation workflow are like together with the software. And this is a PwC report that estimate that the business's use of drone will exceed around 125 billions. And of course, the number one industry that contribute the most will be infrastructure, which is about 46 billions, and followed by agriculture, which is the second highest, around 33 billions. And then you have the rest like transport, security, media, entertainment, and insurance with their respective numbers here. Before I proceed to the next part, if you guys have any questions, you can write it out and then I can help answer. So Afik, do we have any question right now that we can help answer?
Not for now. I don't think anyone is asking question, but before we jump into the industrial applications, if you guys have any questions, just ask away. Or maybe now, if you are typing, then just proceed. We will go into the industries first, and then we will answer your question at the end of each industry as we go. Right, Sasi, you can start going into the survey and mapping industry.
All right, thank you, Afik. Okay, let us proceed to the next part. So the first industry we're going to talk about is survey and mapping. So of course, survey and mapping can be applied to many different industries such as constructions, land survey, agriculture, and mining. So before that, this is just some of the challenges that the conventional survey and mapping that face. So number one will be time consuming. Number two will be communication barrier, poor accuracy, safety, and also the last one is technology adoptions. So for survey and mappings, there are mainly three results that you can get from the drones. So number one is the most basic one, like I mentioned just now, it's called the 2D Orthomosaic map. It's basically a 2D map for you to see, and then you can go into an elevation map or also 3D map. You can create different results from here. And then of course, you can also do a 3D map models to see overall detail. So normally in survey and mapping, in construction especially, what are the uses of drone? Number one uses in construction is to do progress tracking. They want to see whether the construction is on budget and on time or not. So with this kind of reporting, you can easily report to all the stakeholders and your management to have a better understanding what is the current situation on the job site. Of course, you can also do compare as built with the real design. This is especially important because if you can identify any mistake early on of the stage, you can avoid a lump sum of money to do the corrections instead of just figure out, oh, we have this building supposed to be here, but it's off by 10 meters when everything is about to complete, which will be quite costly for you to repair or amend that. And also in the construction, what you can do is you can add in annotations. For example, let's say this subcon just finished his job in this area, but he left a mess at the end of the job. So what you can do is you give a better communications by putting annotation, please clean up the areas to let them know so that the next subcon or main con can continue their things. And of course, the most important for soil mapping is photogrammetry. So photogrammetry is the science of making measurements using photographs. So this is quite important especially in survey mapping. So next, I'm going to show you some of the example of photogrammetries. For this one is volume calculations. This is one of the construction site in Malaysia where they are using the drone photography and also software to quickly and accurately identify how much and how many sand or aggregate they need to fill up the whole areas. And also in any job site, let's say in mining or construction in any field, there will be some risk and dangerous area like the one you see here. So instead of sending people go and inspect, it's quite risky. What you can do is you can just deploy a drones, easily get a 4K footage, high quality video to see what is wrong with the areas. And then they also can use the software and also drone image to quickly and accurately measure a distance from this point to this point. So it's quite convenient, I would say. So the total distance from here to here is about 18 or 19 meters. And of course, you can also create a 3D model time lapse to see your progress and then report back to your different stakeholder or your management to review what is the next course of action to take, whether this project is on time and on budget or not. So for this survey and mapping solutions, I would suggest the Phantom 4 RDK plus the base station like you see in the photos. So this is slightly different from the normal Phantom 4 because this one, they come with the RTK module, which is this thing you see over right here, the one popping up. This is the RTK module. So what is RTK? RTK actually stands for real-time kinematics. It is a positioning satellite technique used to enhance the grid, or also to give you a better GPS locations. And then this one, it comes with a 1-inch CMOS sensors, 20 megapixel cameras. This is the apps you use to control the drones, which is called GSR. And also it comes with time sync. Time sync is very important for the survey industry because it basically provide a common or low drift time reference to accurately synchronize the capture time of the data inside the drone with the external time. So, and also it comes with OcuSync 2.0, which is basically the transmissions to give you about around 7 kilometers of radius. And also they come with the base station, which is this stick here you see. It's called the DRTK2 base station. So before I continue with the next industry, is there any questions from the floor, Afik?
Yeah, I think there's a few questions that we have here that our colleagues have actually replied to them, but maybe we can talk a little bit more about it. So for example, someone has asked what infrastructure inspection that it can be used for drones. So I think this one can be any building, road, telecom tower, bridges also included, right?
Yes, correct. So the question is, what can inspection do in construction, right?
I mean, like what specific infrastructure that drone can do? Which infrastructure? Yeah.
Or basically, you can deploy the drones to inspect any dangerous area that you don't want to risk your worker to go into inspect manually.
Yeah, I think this one we will talk further down the presentation, right, Sasi?
Yes, yeah. Correct.
Okay. So next, someone has asked the point cloud for mapping that we show in the video just now. Is it being captured by RGB camera?
Yes, correct. It's being captured by the RGB normal cameras.
Yeah, RGB cameras is being used in videography, photography, and then also mapping. And then for inspection, there's thermal, and also the gas detector just now. And then got in agriculture, if I'm not mistaken, there's multispectral cameras or payloads, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last question I think from Sol is that DJI Mini can use for simple mapping, is it?
DJI Mini cannot be used to do mapping because it doesn't come with the software that at the remote controller.
Yeah.
You cannot do mapping with the DJI Mini.
Yep.
You can only do mapping with the minimum of a Mavic 2 Pro or Phantom 4 and above.
Alright. So I think that's all for Q&A. Yeah.
Alright, thank you, Afik. Okay, I will.
Let me see. I got a few more questions. For example, can you still deploy for the mapping?
Can you use what? Don't deploy, is it?
Yeah, don't deploy.
Yes, you can use that. But don't deploy is software from the US, if not mistaken.
Yeah. I think you can. We can proceed to the next one, which is
Agriculture.
agriculture. Yep.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Afik, for all the questions I mentioned. Okay, I will proceed to the second industry, which is agriculture. So for agriculture, we will mainly focus in two main things. Number one will be the crop health monitoring, followed by agriculture spraying. So same thing, before we jump into the industry, we will check out what are the challenges faced in agriculture operations. Number one will be poor accessibility, as you can see on the picture on your right, especially in oil palm plantations. In order to deploy someone to spray a large hectare of lands, you need to use a 4x4 vehicle. Even with a 4x4 vehicle, it's quite tough to go into the designated area because there are no proper infrastructure or no proper road for you to enter. And then once you made it in, you will need to use a manual labor like you see here to spray. If you own a very large piece of land, let's say for 10 or 20,000 hectare, you're gonna need a lot of labor, and it's gonna be labor intensive. And in this case, it's not gonna be fast and effective. And also the third point is manual data management, which is still, a lot of people are still doing now, using pen and paper to write down all the data management. So first of all, I'm going to talk about crop health monitoring. As you can see, we'll be using NDVI formula and also multispectral. But before I get started, I just want to explain a little bit more about what is NDVI. So NDVI stands for Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. It is a basic and simple indicator of photosynthetically active biomass. Or to put it in a simpler term, we're not going to go into too detail. It's an indicator to show how healthy is your crop. As you can see on the left, they are different colors, right? They got blue, they got green, they got red, and then they got this one called NIR. NIR stands for near infrared, which normal RGB camera cannot capture this kind of spectrum. So that is why you need a multispectral camera with different bands of lens in order to capture all these lenses. And then from here, by using a formula, again, I'm not going to go in detail. This is just an introductory webinar. They can come up with some values. So as you can see in the photos here, if your plant is unhealthy or dead, you get negative to 0 value. That is why you see your plant is brown in color. And then for unhealthy plant, you get value from 0 ranging to 0.33. And for moderately healthy plants, you will see 0.33 to 0.6. And from 0.6 and above, you'll get a very healthy plant. That is basic idea of how NDVI monitor your crop health. I hope this one make it clear. And then once you use the NDVI spectrum camera to identify the problematic spot, right, you get something like this, green and red, where green is the healthy one, red is the problematic one. So once you identify the problematic area, the next step you're going to do is you're going to send someone go and check what is the cause that are making my crop unhealthy. Is it because of malnutrition? Is it because too much water? Or is it because of pesticide attack? And then from there, you can start to apply chemical. Say, for example, it's like malnutrition, you want to put more fertilizer. That is how you want to prevent the problem in your crop and also increase the overall yield. So for these solutions, right, we will recommend you to use Phantom 4 multispectral. So this is the multispectral camera here. You see they got 6 different bands. They got the red edge, they got the near infrared, green, red, blue, and visible light. So these are the bands that allow you to see the NDVI and also allow you to see whether your crop is healthy or not. So the next step, once you identify your crop is unhealthy, you will normally want to spray pesticide or fertilizer, right? This is where the crop spraying drone come into play. So for this drone, they're going to do blanket spraying, mainly on fertilizer and also pesticide. So this is what it looks like. So you just deploy your drone, go to the field and do the spraying. So the best thing about this drone, right, I would say is the management software. Because every task is recorded automatically and you don't need to use the traditional method, which is pen and paper. How many hectares of land have you sprayed? Everything is recorded. So it's quite convenient, it's automated. We have made a simple comparison between using a human labor and also the drones. So for the time efficacy, I would say it's 12 times better. According to some of our clients, they say for human labor, 1 day maximum, they can spray about 1 to 2 hectare max. But for drones, on a 1 day, 8-hour operations, we can spray about 12 hectare, which is that's how we get the number of 12 times better. And also for human labor, the performance is actually subject to performance. There's no way for you to check whether your labor is doing a good job or not, whether they have properly spread evenly on the land or not. But for the drones, everything is consistent because everything is automated. So you have no worry on that part. And the best part, like I mentioned, everything is automated, it's recorded. And this one, you still need to use the traditional method to do the recording. And there is no safety hazard involved with the drone because there are no close contact between you and the pesticide. For a human labor, if they're exposed to the pesticide for a long period of hours, they might get or prone to damages. So yeah. So for these solutions, we will introduce you our very own spraying drones. It's called a Polar PV16S. So here is some of the specifications of the drones. So the dry weight of this drone is about 14 kilo without the battery. The maximum takeoff weight is about 35. And this white color tank you see here can store up to 16 liters of tank, either pesticide or fertilizer. And this one can fly up to 20 minutes. And this thing you see here, they have a terrain radar sensor. So what this thing does is it's very important because as you know, those land that there are no flat lands, there's ups and downs. So this thing allow the drone to automatically follow the terrains, go ups and go down, so it won't crash when there's irregular, there's object in front. And also they come with the obstacle avoidance sensor. They will automatically stop when they detect there's something in front. And for the flight speed and also spraying rate, these two are adjustable according to the need of the farmers. So this is a study on the China where they are started. A lot of companies already started to use the spraying drones. As you can see from this news, the China market for the spraying drone is worth 30 billion yuan per annum, which is huge. And a lot of companies, not even in China, I mean in across the globe, already started to adopt the spraying drones in their companies. So, okay, before I go to the third industry, is there any questions that we can help answer quick?
So someone has asked what NDVI data can do for farmers. I think what he or she mean here is that what valuable insight or key takeaway from the reporting that we can get from NDVI data.
Okay, NDVI data is important if you have if you want to increase your overall crop use and also increase overall profitability of your crops. Because I believe if you have a piece of land and then some part of your crop has started go bad or die, it will spread like a wildfire, something like a chain reactions. So what NDVI does is it helps you identify which part of your crop is unhealthy so that you can take preventive measure and go and tackle the issue before it becomes a big issue and cost you loss a lot of money. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to increase the yield in agriculture. And then there's from Azmin. Maybe he's referring to the table just now.
Yep.
Can you go back to the table where? Yeah, this one. So he's asking, do you have the data for us to compare the results here? I think this one.
Yes, I think I can send him personally the data to him via email.
Yeah, sure. But I think in logically speaking, that's if we do spraying manually, of course one day we can get 1 to 2 hectare depending on the environment also. But in terms of drones, our PV16S has been used. We have a quite consistent data on that. One flight which can cover up to 0.5 hectare, I would say, and which one day can spray up to 12 hectare.
All right, thank you, Afiq, for answering that questions. Is there any more questions from the floor?
I don't think so. Maybe you can move on to the next industry, which is the infrastructure inspection. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Afiq. So I will move to our third industry, which is the infrastructure inspections. So this one will mainly talk about how to use drones to do visual spectrum inspections using the RGB or even the thermal cameras. It could be telecom towers, bridges, facade, roof, or solar panels. So again, what are the current challenges faced in inspection operations? Number one, I will say, is the unreliable data that you get by deploying a human labor go and do the checking. Second one, it is very time consuming and ineffective. And third is the risk. It's dangerous if you were to send somebody go up into the cell tower and do some inspections. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Okay, this is one of the news that happened last year, August, where one of the resident engineer fall to his death at the MRT construction site trying to do some inspections. So if we were to deploy the drones to do the inspections, things like this, set cases like this can be avoided. So, okay, I'm going to talk about how we can use drone in different type of inspections. Number one is the roof inspections. I believe the traditional method is still going to deploy people using maybe a crane or a staircase, climb all the way top just to see what is wrong with the roof. I believe some of those roof company, they are still doing this. And the problem with this is when they send people go up there, sometimes the human labor, once they reach there, they don't know what are the things they are supposed to look for, whether they're supposed to look for water leaking or damages or defect. So the data they get is unreliable, and there's no effective way to get a very good overall image of aerial view of the roof. So by using a drone, you can avoid all this problem. Number two is more or less the same like the roof inspection, just that you are doing inspection in facade or even high-rise building. I believe traditional method, you need to hire a crane company to send people on crane to see defect or crack on the wall to see whether they need to fix or not. But right now, you can just simply deploy the drones, record it with the 4K videos, and then you can zoom it in and out easily. And also the cell tower inspection is one of the most important inspections for a big company. And because cell tower, they have this kind of interference, I would say when you fly the drone too near, you will get a magnetic interference. And when that happens, your drone will lose control and your drone will just crash on its own. So what can you do with this is you can equip a high zoom camera payload to your drones so that you don't have to fly so near, and you can still able to zoom in very near to see is there any defect on your cell tower, is there any bolts and nuts that are loosened up that need to be fixed before you actually send people go and do the actual fixing, to save your cost and save your time. And of course, wind turbine inspections. How about for those solar panels? You can deploy a drone equipped with a thermal payloads. to do solar inspections, because solar inspections, like you see on the photo on the left, this is a large-scale solar farm. It's very big. You have rows and rows and tons of rows of solar panels. If you were to use the traditional methods, which is by using a human and then getting the equipment to check row by row, it's going to take you weeks, a month, or maybe 1 year to inspect everything. But by just deploying a drone, you can get it done in just 1 day. And the accuracy, the result of it is quite dependable. For these solutions, we will suggest you to use the Matrix 200 series drone, which is this drone you see here, and also Zenmil Z30 and Zenmil XT2. So this drone, they come with IP43 rating, which is you can fly under the right range and also protections from light objects. And the transmission is very good, so you can do a lot of inspection works and without having to fear the signal is getting lost or signal is getting weak. For this Zenmil Z30 camera, right, this camera is very powerful as it comes with a 30-time optical zooms. Like I mentioned, you can see in the photos here, your drone doesn't have to fly so near with the cell tower, yet you can zoom all the way in to check every single detail, whether there's any defect with the structure or not. And then followed by this Zenmil XT2 camera. This is a thermal camera, specially used to do some inspection at night or even for solar panels. This is just some of the intelligent feature it comes with. You have temperature check, where anytime when you press on the screen, you can immediately find out what is the current temperature of the object. And also temperature alarm. You can preset a temperature, say for example, 60. So anytime if you're flying and do some inspection, anything that higher than 60, they will alert you. This object is higher than 60. You get a heat track. You can easily track the hottest object in your inspection. What does FLIR MSS meaning is they have two types of visual. One is a normal RGB, another one is the infrared. So what it does is it will overlap these two together to give you a better picture quality of a thermal. Then you can quickly track any object with the quick track functions. Isotherms, this is pretty straightforward. For example, black signifies the hottest object, where white is the least hottest object in the screen. Color palettes, you can play around. Let's say if you don't like red and blue, you can change to any other color that you like. And also last one is PIP options, meaning to say picture-in-picture options, where you can put RGB and also thermal camera side by side for comparison kind of view. So that is basically all about the inspection one. I think, do we have any questions?
Yeah. So beside, I think the Matrix series drone that you have mentioned just now.
Yep.
Someone has asked which drones have built-in thermal cameras.
Okay, that is a good question. Which drone have a built-in thermal camera? There is this drone. This is the drone I will talk about on the next industry. It's called Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo. It already comes with a built-in thermal and also RGB camera. So the next slide I will talk more about it.
See. So for the Matrix, I think it doesn't come with the Z30 and XT2, right?
Yep, it doesn't come with. So this drone doesn't come with these two payloads. This picture I see here is just for illustration purpose. This picture is already put in these two payloads just for illustration purpose. So when you buy the drone itself, you only come with the drones. There are no payload attached with it. Just to make that clear.
I see. Yeah, maybe we can move on to the public safety, where you can talk more about Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So now we are on our fourth and the last industry we're going to talk about, which is the public safety. This is mainly involved with the law enforcement and also search and rescue department. So same thing. Before we start, we're going to talk about what are the challenges faced in public safety management. Number one, I would say, is the map informations. This is rather important because every time when somebody's lost in the jungle, you want to send people to do some search and rescue, where you just deploy people, go there blindly without any map information. It's like you don't know what is in the terrains, how many hills, how many trees are there. So basically people don't know, they just go in there blindly to do the search and rescue. So by deploying a drone, you can quickly capture the overall aerial image of the locations and tell them, okay, they in front of how many kilometers, we have one river here, we got one pothole here. So your people that go in to do the search and rescue have a better visualization of the areas. Number two, I would say, is the inaccessibility areas. For example, there are a lot of tall hill or high hill that cannot be accessed by human. This is where you can deploy your drones to easily get a quick glance of the structure to kind of with the actionable decision making, how we're going to go about that. And also, I would say time is very important, because in search and rescue department, every second count. One moment later, you arrive on the spot, you might lose the life. So here are some of the scenario you can use the drone for. So the drone you see here over here, the small drone here, is attached with a speaker. Basically, these people is kayaking and almost get drowned. So once you deploy the drone and you found the people, you can directly broadcast a message like, can you keep calm because the people are coming to save you. So you'll give the person a better understanding of the situation and he will not panic. Second one is also a search and rescue scenario where this guy is hiking at night and was injured and cannot be moved. So what you can do is you can deploy this Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo attached together with the flashlight to do the search. And then with the thermal camera also, you can easily look for any people at the jungle at night easily, because human body also animal, they have body temperatures. As you can see in this picture, these are, I believe it's some farm animal. They run away from the farmer. So the farmer can easily deploy the drone and look where is his pet or his animal has gone into. And also it's quite important to firefighting, because sometime before you deploy people to go and douse some flame, maybe on the outside it doesn't look that hot, but actually inside there the fire is really hot and about to explode. So by quickly deploying the drone, you can give a quick scan of the surrounding, or you can tell how hot is the inside before you just sending people go in and do the rescue itself. So this is actually a case study. I believe all of you know who is Kobe Bryant, the famous NBA star, and he actually died in a helicopter crash. So the scene here you see right now is the actual crash site of the accident site. So what the CSI in the country do is they deploy drones to capture an overall image of the areas. So what they do is they can recreate the whole accident scenes and then to find out whether that accident is caused by homicide or is it a purely accident. So it's quite useful for CSI to conduct their investigation. For these solutions, we're gonna recommend you to use Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo, where it already comes with built-in thermal and also RGB camera, as you can see right here. And then for Enterprise series, right, they come with 3 extra accessories. Number one is the speaker, where you can attach on here, like you see on the photo. You can directly broadcast what you want to say, and then they will just broadcast up. Number two is the flashlight. If you want to do some night operations, it is too dark, you can attach the flashlight. And number three is the beacons. Beacon is just a blinking light to show people there's a drone nearby or to give a better visibility to others. So to summarize, these are the 4 industries we talk about and what are the drones that is suitable to use. So for survey and mapping, you can use Phantom 4 RTK together with the base station. And then for agricultures, there are 2 drones. Number one is crop health checking, the multi-spectral Phantom 4, followed by the Polar PV16S, the spraying drone. So for inspection, we'll be mainly using Matrix 200 series, and also these 2 payloads, Zenmu Z30 and XC2. And last, the public safety, you can use the Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo. So before I move to the next part, Afiq, is there any question from the floor?
Someone is asking the Mavic 2 Enterprise Duo that we thought you saw.
Yep.
Is that the same drone as the PDRM or the police is using for COVID-19 MCO?
Yes, correct. That is the exact same drone that our PDRM are using to disperse the crowd that are doing illegal gathering and also do some patrolling during the MCO.
See. And someone has asked, how do drones help in searching missing person in jungle or forest? Considering the forest in Malaysia is considered quite thick, or the canopy is quite thick, I guess, in Malaysia, because we are in rainforest.
Okay. So, of course, if you want to do a search and rescue in a very thick forest, the best drone and payload to use is the thermal camera. However, you need to keep in mind that thermal camera, even though they can detect the body temperature, if the person is hiding underneath a very thick canopy, the camera cannot detect the heat. So that is one of the challenges that you will face if you were to do a search and rescue. But if you deploy a drone with thermal camera, the chances to finding them is definitely higher than not deploying any drone at all, or do a on the floor party search. So that is what I would say, because anyhow the thermal cannot penetrate thick canopy.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, is another totally different technology. It's called the night visions, which is different from infrared. That one is a military technology. Yep.
Yeah, I think this one is definitely drones can help, because it's give you a rough, very good bird eye view or aerial view compared to when you deploy like staff or human or personnel that can find only like can look only like few meters in front of them. So
yes, I would say the biggest strength of deploying drone is you can cover large piece of area in very short amount of time, and also it's very fast and efficient compared to just deploying people go and search blindly like that.
Yeah,
and
not
also,
to mention drone has zoom camera also. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all for public safety and all the industries that we have. Maybe we can go into see what is the Poladrone's portfolio and services that we offer.
All right, thank you, Afiq.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, before I end, I would like to talk about our portfolio, which is what are the services that we provide. So we provide 4 types of services. Number 1 is the turnkey project. Basically, we will help our client to do any project from A to Z, end-to-end solutions. And also we have training and support, like I mentioned just now. We have a sister company called the Drone Academy Asia, where if your company is interested to set up their very own drone department, you can send in your pilot here, or you send in your employee here. We can help them to train and certify them as professional pilots. And also, if you have any products, say for example, you want to purchase a FLIR thermal camera or even a Centera NDVI sensor, you can ask us to buy for you, because we have all the connections, we know where to get. And also we have our own R&D department. Let's say, for example, you have a drones, but you want to attach a custom payload to it, and you don't know how to design the mounting, you can send it over to our company. We can help you design the mounting for you. So because we have our own R&D department here. And this is the IRA map of our company. So basically, what is IRA map? IRA map is an online cloud-based processing, visualizations, and also analytic platform. So what you basically can do is, after you have taken all the photos in your own drones, let's say your company doesn't have enough capital to set up their own processing department. Like I mentioned, you need to have a powerful workstation, you need to have a software license, you need to have a server, you need to have people know what they're doing. You can just engage with us in the IRA map. You can just upload all your photos to IRA map, where we can help you stitch all the photo together. Let's say if you want to do some tree counting, we can do it for you as so. You want to do some 3D rendering, we can do that for you also. So IRA map is very, I would say, very cheap compared to if you want to set up your own processing department. It will save you a lot of cost, and also it's quite useful for turnkey project, because it is charged by per use basis. Yep. So this is our experience in mapping. We have mapped more than 3,000 and above hectares, where 50 of it in Indonesia, the rest of it in Malaysia. And then on the right here is our experience in spraying. I would say 80% will be in paddy field, the rest of it in others and oil palm. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type in the comment below and we'll answer it for you. So this is our contact. If you have any inquiry, feel free to call us or email us. Yeah, and this is our website. You can check it out.
Yeah, thank you, Sasi. I think there's a few questions on the floor, but our colleagues are responding to them.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has asked about questions about whether or not the softwares that we have, right, as the ones that you talked earlier of this presentation, the softwares on operation, processing, and analyzing, is it all the same?
I wouldn't say it's all the same because for processing and analytics software, the function is the same more or less. There are different brands of software out there. We have, for example, we have Pix4D, we have DJI Terra, we have Argisoft. What they do basically, they can do the same thing, just that they come with different name and different software.
Yeah,
it's just like car with different branding. We have Honda, we have Toyota, but they do the same. They drive you from point A to point B. I hope that explanation make it clear.
Yeah, I think as Sasi mentioned earlier, there's operation is DJI software mostly that we use, and for processing, you can use DJI's app or software also like DJI Terra, or you can go into to our website, which is ironmap.com. This is a software that Poladrone has developed specifically to cater to Malaysia's economic industries such as agriculture, oil palm, everything like that.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation, I think.
Yeah. And then someone is asking, currently what is the spraying activities that is being used in oil palm sectors?
Currently, the activities being used in oil palm sector is mainly to do blanket spraying to kill the bagworms in oil palm plantations.
So the bagworms is, I guess, it's a blanket spraying, so you do using the spraying drone?
Yes.
Yeah, I see. And then someone has also asked about if we do we do training, Sasi, on drones, professional drone operations?
Yes, we do have the training. If you're interested, just drop your email and then I will get the person in charge to send you all the details, what kind of training you are looking for and for which industry.
Yeah. I think there's no more questions on the floor. Maybe we can wait a few minutes just for everyone. If you have any final questions or anything that you want to ask, just type away. Me and Sasi will be answering your questions. Oh, someone asked, can you tell me a little bit more about your software? Sasi, maybe you can elaborate more on IronMap. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So IronMap basically is our very own developed software. It's an online cloud-based one. It's a processing, visualizations, and also analytic platform. So what it does is we can help you to stitch all the photos you have taken together into one big map. And then from those photos, let's say if you want us to help you do, let's say in agriculture segment, you want to do some tree counting, you can tick on the box, then we can do it for you. If you want to do some 3D renderings, for example, DEM, DSM, DTM, this sort of thing, we can do it for you as well. It's basically an online platform for you to see your project basically. It works more or less something similar like the drone report one. If you know what is a drone report. I hope the explanation clears things up for you.
Yeah, maybe I can share you guys a little bit more on iramap.com. Before that, I think someone has asked which countries have you made your operation. Sassy, maybe you want to answer this?
Which country? Okay, we have operation in Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia as well.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, my colleague here, I think, will show you the iramap website and how does it work.
So iramap, there's a few features inside that we are using. So basically, the first one we have this iramap actually there's AI-powered data processing engine, which means all the things such as the mapping, stitching, tree counting, and NDVI analysis is all run by AI engine. And then that seamless data transmission, which means you can download, upload, and view your data everywhere, anywhere, as long as you have a stable internet connection. And there's also customizable analytics processing and reports, which means you select what you want in iramap.com. Which means, for example, if you want to do a 2D map, if you want to do a 3D map, and tree counting, this is what you choose. And all of these services we actually do on credit basis. And there's high accuracy GIS processing capability, because this one we use a very accurate drones on site when for the data collection. So there's also a few factors inside iramap that make it very dependable in terms of GIS and GPS location on the map. And clear-cut data visualization, which means the data or the images that we send to you after it's been stitched, and everything is all clear-cut and in very good post-processing quality. This is because all the things that we've done before is automated inside using the AI engine just now. So right now, what we offer inside iramap is actually our main background, or the main processing capability covers a very high range of industries, such as agriculture and also construction and inspection. So this one we are running very actively throughout Malaysia and Indonesia and Thailand. Yep, Sasi. Do you have anything to add on?
No, for my side.
And someone has asked, what would be so regarding the tree counting accuracy? We are very proud to say that our accuracy is around 99%, which is being assisted by the AI engine just now. Charges and everything, I think we can talk a little bit more if someone is asking how much is the charges for iramap solution. So basically the structure is we use credit packages, which means for every, you can top up your credit. For example, one credit is RM1, and then there will be, if you, depends on the how large is your area. So basically, if your area is very large, of course, it contributes directly to the high usage of credits. But this credit also depends on which program that you want, which analytics that you want to do. For example, if I just want to do to-do mapping and also tree counting, it should be quite cheap for you. So for example, if stitching service for your map per hectare is just 2 credit per hectare, tree counting 2 hectare also for 2 credit for per hectare, and then all of this map digitalization, the models, digital terrain model, digital service model, everything is 3 credit per hectare, and multi-spectral processing for agriculture is 2 credits per hectare. So we have basic and pro plan. Basic, which means you don't have any commitments inside, and pro is an annual charge log, and then you can share your report and collaborate with your other team members, and then that you can download and do email updates also. Also, somewhere asked, Poladrone is doing for paddy field spreading in Malaysia. Right now, we are only manufacturing the drone, which is just now the Polavi 16S. But this one is being used in paddy field around Malaysia. And then someone also asked, how do you see the future in Malaysia on the usage of drones? For example, the delivery, like what Amazon did in US. So I think this one, sorry, as I said, I thought a little bit more. Drone delivery, actually, the idea sounds very great, but there's always an obstacle for these drone delivery services. The first one would be the regulation. Regulation means for airspace, there's always a regulation that we have to follow. And then second would be the space that we have. For example, drone delivery, if we see inside, it's not very idealistic to do it inside a very big city where we have very high-rise building or skyscrapers around. But in terms of suburbs or in a very rural area, it might work. For example, the one in Africa, they've been using a fixed wing platform to send blood supply medication to the end of the in a very rural area or very rural setting. And someone has asked, would be great if you can share the flow of work for Aramap from the request to data delivery. Sure. The rough overview, I think Sasi has talked a little bit more on that just now. Let me see. Let me share my screen. So this one is just a very rough overview. So what this is the very rough overview where when people ask us to go to collect the data, it's the pre-planning, and of course after that we will go and acquire data, and after that we'll be upload the data and then do processing inside the Aramap itself, and then after that analysis would be the one that we do the tree counting and everything, and then after analysis is the one that we go submit the report back to the one that have to our clients basically. And then Enzo have asked, can I have a simulator demo for IRAMAP data? Of course we can. Of course we can. We already have the sample data that you guys can view. After this webinar, I will send you guys a recording of this webinar, and also on how to log into IRAMAP and how to view the data, the sample data that we have inside. Then maybe the last one is someone also has asked about IRAMAP too. After we done the processing, for example, by using IRAMAP for stitching, what is the way to submit the result to the client? Of course, the client will have a very different software. So this one, I think, you can submit it. You can download the data in a few different formats, which is a report format, TIFF, or PDF format. And this format can be the report is auto-generated, and then you can customize the sectors or the clauses that you want inside the report, and then you can just send it via email to your client. Sasi?
Yep.
Yeah. Someone asked about Centera cameras. What is the price range and the capabilities of this? Maybe you can talk more about like single, double, quad cameras.
So for the Centera multispectral cameras, there are a few. Because this is an introductory drone workshop, so I'm not really gonna go into details. But you can send your email here, and I will reply to you personally on all the detail for the Centera one and what kind of a Centera sensor that we have and what are the uses for it.
Thank you, Sasi. I think anyone has any more questions? If not, we are going to end our webinar here. I hope you guys have been learning a lot on drone technology in industrial applications here at our webinar. If anything, you guys can always drop us an email here at hello@poladrone.com. And of course, you can call us at this number here.
Yep. For those of you still got any questions, feel free to call us on this number, and also this is our email. Just drop us an email and we will answer you accordingly. I hope in this webinar you find this information that we share is very useful and informative. And I see you guys next time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sasi. Thank you, everyone. Hazri, I will send you to all of us here. I will send a recording and also a log on how to log in to iramap.com to everyone to set a few sample data there. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.